I think that this is one of those things that's really important because a lot of times we get so busy in life that we stop really building our ideas. And while I think we need to be careful about bright, shiny objects and going, oh, that's a good one, that's a good one, that's a good one, I think that we really have to protect our time and be able to develop and nurture the big ideas that we have. So I'm going to share with you tonight some of the big ideas that I've had in the past, and hopefully these will help to spark some ideas for you to use to build and develop your home staging business. Number 13, heed the gut instinct. Woo, this is an important one, isn't it? How many of you have ever gone out and thought, I should have done it this way, and I didn't, and doggone it? Anybody ever done that? Anybody? Raise your hand if you have. I know that for me, right now I'm getting ready to take my real estate exam. And so you do all these test exams and stuff like that first. And it's very funny because every time I miss one, it's because I second-guessed myself and I was right the first time. I'm like, ugh, heed the gut instinct, heed the gut instinct. So again, that's a really good one that I want you to think about. And if you're out there staging and you're not sure if something works, stand back and say, what's my gut telling me? If you're working with a client on a contract and you go, you know, they're really pushing me around, what's my gut telling me to do? Or if you feel like, you know, I should ask for more, which is hard to do, right? What's my gut telling me to do? Is it saying, no, no, you're good where you are? Or you should ask for more. You'd be happier with it, okay? Number 14, a successful entrepreneur is the loneliest person on the planet. This is something that you need to understand, and it's something that one of my mentors taught me, is that as a successful entrepreneur, a lot of times people won't like you as much. Believe it or not. It's an interesting thing that happens. You think they would like you more because they would be happy for you, but it's not how things work always. So sometimes you have to realize you're a little bit lonely because you're successful. And that's when I would say, hey, we have a huge family here at APSD. We're in 14 countries. Get on APSD Facebook page. Get on our homestage.ning.com site for our private members. Do all of that because you're not alone. You don't have to be alone. Just realize that all those people who are making you feel alone are the ones that are not part of your Fab Five. Okay? Number 15, when you see indications of belt tightening, ramp up your multiple streams of income. What does that mean? Well, we've all seen indications of belt tightening for about the past 5 years. That's when we need to ramp up our game. That's when we say, hey, we've got something else that works here. We can add these additional streams of income. Or if you can't afford $1,000, I've got this $200 curb appeal I can help you with. I've got this $197 color analysis. We can change this bubblegum pink home and make it, you know, beachy sand and in a matter of 2 days. So you have other skills that you can really use. So figure out what your client needs when they're tightening their belt and service them accordingly. I had a call the other day with one of my clients, and he's probably one of my most valuable clients, although I've never done any business for him, but he refers me to all of his clients who are multi-million-dollar homeowners. And we built a very, very good relationship. And yesterday he said to me, he goes, you know, my favorite thing about you, Karen, because we were talking about one house that we've both really had tried to sell and market, and it's just been a tough one, and we haven't done it yet. But the other day I was able to at least offset their income by several $1,000s a month by implementing a new strategy, which they really appreciated while they're trying to sell. And one of the things my friend said to me, you know, as I told him this, he goes, man, Karen, my favorite thing about you is you look at all the different ways to skin a cat. And that's really what I'm talking about here, is when you see people kind of tightening their belt or, you know, not having as much money to spend, then you have to look at it and say, how many other ways can I skin this cat? How many other ways can I really help or service this client in order to continue to grow and build my business? Number 16. Know when to hold them and know when to fold them when it comes to negotiation. Now, again, those of you who have been with me for a long time, and I know all of you on the phone that have been on these calls, and these calls have gotten bigger and bigger over the years, which I really appreciate. But you always hear me talk about negotiation, and when people say, well, how much you want to spend on the staging? Oh, I don't know. And I always teach people, well, if you did know, now many of you are saying this with me right now, if you did know, how much would it be? And usually they'll give you a price, which is very funny to me. But you also have to, and you know, when I recently developed the luxury training for 12,000 agents in 33 countries in Europe. And when they came to me and they asked me to do this, and we talked about pricing, and I said, well, do you have a price range in mind? And the gentleman I was working with was actually very smart, because he said to me, he goes, what I'm going to tell you is to tell me the best price you can give me that still feels good to you. And I thought that was a really smart thing for him to say, because when it comes to negotiation, there is a point at which you need to be able to walk away, where you go, you know what, this just isn't, that's not enough, or it's not the right thing for me. So be prepared for that, but just know what your limits are. That's all. Are you going to mess up a few times? Are you going to wish you would charge more or differently? Sure. But the only way you learn that is by getting out there and actually doing it. So I'll tell you all the different ways I know, but here's our reality, guys, is get the foundation, get the training, get the education. If you're not already certified, you need to be, right? You need that behind you. But you'll get better and better the more you get out there. That's why we do these calls every month, because I want you to get better and better all the time. If you know it's right, then move forward. If you know, this is kind of like heed the gut instinct, right? If you know it's right, then you have to move forward. So you go, you know what? I know it's right to walk away. Move forward. I know it's right to do this project even though everybody else is telling me don't do it. Then move forward. I know it's right to you know, expand my business, expand it. I know it's right to keep my business in this marketplace, keep it in the marketplace. If you know it's right, move forward on that action. No excuses, no quitting, no whining. Do what it takes to get to where you want to be. Now, I hear a lot of excuses, I hear a lot of quitting, I hear a lot of whining, and the truth is I'll listen to it for a second or two, but after that, I'm just going to tell you to pull up your big girl panties and move forward. I'm going to say, what do you really want? Great. Let's pull up our big girl panties and move forward, because that's what really needs to happen. And if you ever need a little tough love, schedule a call with me, because I'll be the first one to give it to you. Of course, I always want to say thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions about this webinar, let us know. We do post these for replays if you're an APSD member on our Ning site, so they're always there as well.